Popcorn, Piss, and Vinegar, giving you a raw take on movies, television, and pop culture. My name's Chris.
Scott.
JB4.
That was the relief from the piss.
That's correct.
That's great.
I've been wanting to do that for years.
That's it. Hey, look, and that just goes for years. Fuck, dude.
Years.
I've been holding it for that long.
We've been doing this show now. I think this year, if we go to, I think September is when we started. September of this year, Popcorn, Piss, and Vinegar will be a thing for 6 fucking years. Our first episode dropped in 2014. It was the episode of Ben Affleck. We dropped it with Ben Affleck becoming Batman, and that was announced in like September of 2014. Yeah,
that's so weird.
Because Batman versus Superman came out in 2015. So
wow. Okay, there it is.
Those were the days, huh?
That was the days, huh? Yeah, when we were sitting there and doing hour-and-a-half shows, and which sometimes we still do when we get guests. But yeah, I mean, we try to hold them down, and for this short attention span fucking culture we live in now. So
not today.
All right, well, let's talk about a couple of things. We're going to bounce it back to Lucasfilm. All kinds of fucking bullshit going on. First of all, Bob Iger decides that he's going to step down as the CEO.
Yeah, that's some shit.
And they promote the fucking guy. And Scott, I see you on your phone. You can look this up for me to who's the new CEO of Disney. I tried to sit there and fucking memorize the guy's name, and that quick it slipped on me. But this guy is the dude who runs like the parks. So
Iger's still going to be in the game, though.
Iger's in the game. He stepped down as the CEO. Now, what he wants to be is that
Bob Chapek.
Bob Chapek. So what you're getting now is you're getting the original model that Disney was ran on. Bob Chapek is going to be Roy E. Disney, and and Bob Iger is going to be Walt. He's going to be a creative guy.
I feel like, since he's a CEO's chief employment officer, I think he's like, oh shit, with this pandemic, I'm going to have to fire a lot of people, and I don't want to do that. I just want to do the fun stuff. That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Because the parks, I guess, were having a rough time until recently. And of course, now the other foot's going to drop, and I think part of it is like, I don't want to have to answer to shareholders. I don't like...
Well, that could be part of it, and I mean, I don't know. You never know what's going on behind the scenes as far as all that bullshit.
I thought there was going to be some controversy, but then when I heard that he was staying on just in a creative capacity, I was like, huh, this may be just him saying, you know what, I'm too old for doing something I don't enjoy, which I identify with.
Yeah,
you know,
I don't know. I don't know anybody's reasons in doing anything, but I mean, especially when it comes to this big business shit, you know, I mean, there isn't any telling what's rolling through this guy's mind. But anywho, so what we're talking about is that creative directions of Disney. You know, obviously there is some kind of, I guess, fix that's going to happen over here at Lucasfilm. There are all kinds of bullshit flying around. We don't know if it's true, whether it's false. The only thing that we know is definite is that there is now a push in the printed media portion or segment of the Star Wars franchise that deals with the books and deals with novels and comic books. And this is going to be called the High Republic, which takes place about 200 or 300 years before Episode 1. It's like, from what I saw, is like it's supposed to be like the older Jedi Knights that are kind of, they're billing it as Jedi Knights of the Round Table, to where it's going to be more like a chivalrous medieval kind of theme, and they're fighting off these like pirates that are kind of inspired by Vikings. It's really fucking strange. I'm intrigued by anything they want to do new, especially something that fits within the framework of the Star Wars thematic, but I don't know, this just seems like really odd choice. I mean, people have been beating your ass to do the Old Republic, and I mean, dude, it seems to me that they would at least answer that. I mean, especially in the first movie, if they're treating all this shit really seriously as canon, one of the characters in Episode 1 says the Republic hasn't seen any type of serious battles or any type of serious large-scale wars happen in over 1,000 years. But yeah, here we are, 200 or 300 years, and they're going to be fighting pirates. Now, was it kind of like a small skirmish thing, or is it a large galactic conflict? I don't know. Time will tell as to what they're going to do. So,
I mean, the galactic conflict is fun, you know? The bigger the scope, the better, generally, in Star Wars. It's not star skirmishes.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah. I mean, but yeah, war, I guess, is such a wide term. You know?
Is.
I mean,
that's true.
there's World War II and there's the, French-Indian War, which, so.
It's getting some historical deep cuts here.
Right.
I don't know. Scott, have you got any thoughts on this?
But is it gonna be like, so it's gonna be all new characters and they're gonna do this complete new storyline? That's what I'm guessing on this.
I mean, new infrastructure.
Yeah, I mean, this is gonna be new everything. Are they sure they want to do that?
I mean, I don't know.
And is this gonna follow the trilogy?
No. This is going to kind of be its own thing, and I mean, it's going to be canonized.
Yes.
But I mean, it takes
a
place
long time ago.
Yeah, this is going to be a longer time ago. Not a longer time ago, but a longer time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
I don't know. I'm kind of, and here's the other thing too that they say about it is that we're going to rely a little bit more on fan input in the directions we go. Fuck that. Are you crazy? Are you fucking nuts?
Wasn't it like 3 or 4 podcasts ago that you were particularly outraged with an article that said, "What right do the fans have?"
That was actually
last
episode.
No. I mean, what I'm saying is to sit there and determine the entire direction of everything. I mean, no, I agree. I agree with the fact that you're going to sit there and be like, hey, look, you're going to make a movie about Sonic the Hedgehog and the fucking character doesn't look like a video game character. That I understand. Right. But to sit there and say, hey, we're going to make a Sonic the Hedgehog movie. We're going to do that, okay? Now, let's get the opinion of 5,000 motherfuckers as to what it should actually be about. No. Look, dude, just wait for Favreau, man. Just wait for it. Let him be the CEO. I mean, there's a lot, like I said, a lot of rumors flying around of that's going on with Lucasfilm. If this one's true, I think this is the one that wins out the best. Favreau becomes the CEO. Filoni ends up kind of having a high influence over the creative directions of things with George Lucas working as an advisor. I think that's the best scenario.
Yeah. I mean, that's practically what's going on right now.
But
right?
I mean, so we think. We don't know that for sure.
Fair enough.
I mean, some of the shit you see on the internet, like some kind of bullshit where they banned Kathleen Kennedy from the set of Mandalorian 2.
I remember that.
I mean, dude.
What? Really?
Yeah. Is that really true? I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
I never read that. That's some shit.
I mean,
that's some shit,
dude. I follow a lot of shit. Read a lot of stuff to kind of talk about stuff on this show, and some of the shit, I mean, I just completely discount because I'm like, it sounds so fucking bizarre.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like this.
I feel like Kennedy's been at it too long to interfere with a process.
Right. I feel like she's not as
especially
hands-on
after season
as people
1
make it to make her to be. She probably has a lot of choice and a lot of say in how things go, but at the end, does she really want to have her hands in every single project? Like, I feel like at the end of the day, she would like to have dinner and read a book and watch television and enjoy her life. I mean,
people like that don't do that shit.
I gotta think that she probably pays people to do that shit. I don't mean the shit that I just
go have dinner.
Not that. I don't mean that, but she pays people to deal with what you're talking about.
Hey, you go have dinner with my kid. Go.
I don't know. Honestly, man, look, I don't know the inner workings. The only thing that I know of anything of Kathleen Kennedy, Jon Favreau, Bob Iger, any of these people, I only know them at face value. I know what the only thing I know is what a published article tells me. Now, is that published article, is that controlled by Disney to where they put out shit that they want to see happen? Like, one thing that is factually true, when they upped her contract, when they re-upped her contract, Disney didn't even report it. It's her people that sent that to Hollywood Reporter to let her know that the contract was up. Disney re-upped that contract quietly. I have no doubt that they're dissatisfied with the direction with her at the helm. I have no doubt of that. Yeah. But is it as fucking crazy as people say it is? I don't know. I have no idea. So, but that's all studio politics shit. Mandalorian 2, Jon Favreau, we talk about James Mangold. Now, James Mangold, they say that Steven Spielberg wants to step down from Indiana Jones 5. Or is it Indiana Jones 5?
Yes.
Yeah. And have James Mangold direct this movie, which John and I, well, we're all of differing opinions. Me, I don't give a fuck. I don't want to see this movie. I have no desire. I won't see this movie until it pops up on Disney Plus, which no doubt Disney is going to distribute this movie, unlike Paramount Pictures. I have no doubt that Disney's going to distribute an Indiana Jones movie now that they own Lucasfilm.
Sure.
So there's that. It's no different than Star Wars. You know,
Right.
Fox didn't distribute 7, 8, and 9. You know,
Right.
so Indiana Jones isn't going to be distributed by Paramount. Scott is of the opinion that I think with John from last we left this off, I think you guys said that you all are open to seeing it by James Mangold if they give him the Logan treatment.
Yeah.
Where Indiana Jones is kind of like an old grizzled guy that kind of moves on
he
and
is an
dies
old
at the
grizzled.
end.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm in for that.
I think I'm in regardless. Like, even
you
though
know
I'm
what?
not a big fan of other than Raiders is as close to cinematic perfection as the 80s got for me.
Yeah.
So it was a high bar anyway. But comparatively speaking, those movies are such clown shows that, and yet I still am hoping, I'm still going to go back unless the advance word is so terrible.
Then
that'll
I'll stay
affect
home,
it.
but
Yeah, and I'll wait.
I'll probably go catch it.
But
Assuming
I
that.
doubt with Mangold behind the camera, it's going to be crappy.
Is he confirmed?
No, he's not. But a lot of people reported it, and he didn't deny it.
Yeah, right.
He had his chance to deny it quite vociferously when he, threw shade at Mandalorian.
And I don't
Or the
care if
rumors.
it's an exact replica of the Logan story where
No.
he does his thing. He's an old grizzled guy, and he dies then. I don't care because that's actually probably pretty fun to watch.
Did you just say I don't really care if? Well, actually, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't buy Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones at his age. I just don't, man. He's a fucking relic, man. I mean, he's an old fucking motherfucker.
Maybe he's the relic.
And I mean,
Maybe.
yeah, I mean that. I think that they should title that as the movie. Indiana Jones, I Belong in a Museum. I think should definitely be the title of the movie, without question.
It'll be like it'll be sort of in the same vein as Better Call Saul, where it fast forwards to the future, and instead of
There you
him
go.
working in a Cinnabon, he's working in a museum, like sweeping up at and telling his story. When I was a little kid,
That's
They
young
did-
Indiana Jones.
They
right,
did that
you
in the
know.
Young Indiana Jones Chronicles.
Oh, all right.
It opens up with I guess so. What the movie took place? The original Indiana Jones took place in 34, right? No, it's 36, huh? Mm-hmm. So 1936, and Chronicles was in 92, I think it was. So, yes, I mean, you think 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. I mean, you add 60 years. He's like, in that first episode, Indiana Jones is in his 90s. He has an eye patch and a fedora. And he's telling a young kid, oh, well, back in those days. And he...
Maybe he loses his eye in this
Well,
one.
they thought that was going to happen in the fourth movie.
Oh.
They were going to do that so it would give him they would kind of line that up with Chronicles. But
Indiana Jones and the Mummy of Indiana Jones.
But that's the other question too: is Chronicles canon? Is it canon to the series? I don't know. I have no idea. And that's an interesting thing too. Is that Lucasfilm owns?
Are the comics, because that was a Marvel property.
if
I
I were
know.
them, I wouldn't make it chronicle. I wouldn't make it canon and start a new young Indiana Jones over again. Especially if he's gonna pass the torch and start this new adventure with, like you would always said, Chris, Bradley Cooper and whatnot.
Jesus Christ. I can't believe that the guy who said he couldn't get into Solo because he was played by a different actor is even suggesting
Oh, I know
this.
he about faced right though on that. Because
Totally.
I brought this up and he was like, "No, I can't see anybody but Harrison Ford." And I mean, and
So
that's
did
it.
Harrison Ford. Even
that-
Harrison's behind it.
Well, he said that's the only character he's protective of. Look,
Yeah.
honestly, nothing is sacred. Anything can be rebooted. If you love something,
Unless it's Back to the Future.
if you love something, it's not like the studio is going to show up at your house and confiscate your original copies.
Exactly.
Except George Lucas, because he won't give us the fucking movies in their original form. But all those other movies, it's not like, hey, look, man, I love the original Ghostbusters. I didn't care to watch the female Ghostbusters movie. Does the female Ghostbusters movie make me angry? Not in the least. I couldn't care less about it. I don't give a fuck. It is inconsequential in my world. I don't even think about it. Outside of the time when it came out, and I heard everybody quacking and pissing and moaning about it, it was in my world for about 15 minutes until it was out of the theater 2 weeks later. Other than that, I don't think about that fucking movie. And the same thing with Indiana Jones.
I don't even think about Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, when it comes to Indiana Jones, I think that nothing is sacred. Everything is rebootable. If you get an actor who's going to carry on the role of Indiana Jones, my pick would be Bradley Cooper. You go to what I originally discussed. You make a movie where it takes place in present to Harrison Ford's age, and which I guess would be like the 1960s. Yeah. Would be present to his age. You could tie in all the shit with the Vietnam War and all that stuff. He's a fucking college professor that can play into that.
He could be Marcus, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, in
Raiders.
And I think what's cool is that it's the current level, it's the current day Indiana Jones, current to his age, and you go back to the 1930s, and what happens is that there's something happening in his present age that correlates to an older adventure from that time. And half of the movie, Indy's played by Harrison Ford, and half of the movie is played by the younger actor who is going to take over the franchise after this movie. And Ford gets to play the character while passing the torch at the same time. It's a lot like Spock, Leonard Nimoy playing Spock in the Zack Snyder, in the J.J. Abrams movie. So, I mean, he gets to play Spock and gets to pass the torch to a younger actor. That's my take on it. But, I mean, James Mangold, I
wonder if it's going to open with the death of Mutt.
I think that Mutt is never going to be mentioned again.
Wow,
I don't think. Yeah, I think that they're going to.
Son! I mean,
it doesn't make a difference. It's fucking Shia LaBeouf who's a fucking fuck up. So, I mean, everybody hated it. So
what if Short Round's the bad guy?
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Speaking of Short Round, we were having this conversation over text messages and all that bullshit when it talks about the quality of Indiana Jones movies. Now that I've sat back here and I've watched them again over time and all this shit, I think Temple of Doom is a better movie than Last Crusade.
Huh?
Wow.
Yes.
Look at me and Chris being all pals again.
Because I appreciate what it does. I appreciate what it does, and Indiana Jones, even though I agree with John, those movies are fucking a clown show outside of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Okay.
But if I'm just going to sit there and look at those movies, Temple of Doom is an homage to those swashbuckler movies. In particular, it is a sequel to Gunga Din. Indiana Jones exists in the Gunga Din universe, which is fucking cool. I think that's a really nice touch. Is it hokey? Is it clown shoes? Yes, it is. But so is fucking Last Crusade. But on that level, I think Temple of Doom is a better movie. The special effects are fucking atrocious. The special effects are atrocious in Last Crusade. I mean, to what you have in Raiders. But that fourth movie, I don't even really remember. I know the fourth movie, they were after alien skulls, and Cate Blanchett played like a Russian. It played a Russian person that was like the Russian
from a Saturday Night Live sketch.
Well, yeah, like she was like a Russian agent version of MK Ultra. She was like a psychic or something
like that.
Some bullshit, yeah. Which
and I guess the scarabs from the Mummy made an appearance, or the ants. Those are ants. Sorry.
Ants.
Yeah, I mean, like,
why did it have to be ants?
Those. Like having somebody who's a fucking psychic, even though there's a lot of spiritual, occult shit that happens in Indiana Jones movies, somebody being clairvoyant and having telekinesis or telepathy doesn't even make sense in those movies, if that makes any sense.
What kills me about that film in particular, look, you can swing and miss. It fucking happens. But the fact that Frank Darabont had apparently written something that everybody loved and it just got stuck in development hell and then tabled, come on, that is what kills me. Because when I was out, I know that apparently, what was it, Phantom Menace, when Jar Jar showed up, or before that, you were like, I'm out.
I was out when the droid said Roger, Roger. I was out 15 seconds in.
Well, yeah. I was out when Mutt started swinging on the vines with the monkeys. That's when I was like, this is not...
are you kidding me? I was out when he fucking blew up the refrigerator. Jesus Christ. I was out then. Look, dude, I sat there and I looked at... It's like you try to be apologetic. You sit there and you look at the Indiana Jones fucking shit, and you're like... okay, George Lucas made episode 1 and it's fucking pretty bad.
Uh-huh.
I mean, dude, at least if he makes Indiana Jones, Spielberg's at least going to be able to fucking leash him a little bit and rein him in. No.
Yeah.
It wasn't good enough shitting on Star Wars. We had to shit on Indiana Jones a little bit more. I mean, look, Temple of Doom and the other one, look, they're clown shoes or shows compared to Raiders, but I mean, dude, you can kind of forgive it and move on and enjoy the character.
They were based on 40s serials, and those were kind of,
But that Crystal Skull, that was a fucking atrocity. That was horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
And didn't David Koepp write that? I mean, that guy should know better.
Yeah. Well,
what did he do? I don't know who that is.
David Koepp, he wrote Jurassic Park.
Oh.
He wrote pretty much all the Spielberg movies in the 90s.
Spielberg even came out after that movie was made and said, dude, I don't agree with what George did.
So it was George.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
I mean, he said, I don't agree with George's direction in this thing. He said, I think even Ford said something about it, too. And then Shia LaBeouf, he lost his fucking mind and said, the whole thing was a clusterfuck. I guess he was the only one that told the truth, but they blackballed him anyway,
But I guess enough people want another one. I guess there it is.
I don't know if people really necessarily
I don't say
want it.
I don't say people. I mean like studio heads or whatever.
Yeah, I mean nostalgia. Everything's fucking cheap nostalgia.
Well,
now.
it seems like George is a leash. I don't know if Mangold directs. I'm here for it.
I'll go see it again, but
I think the only thing that you're going to see from George Lucas is this is going to be the only thing that's going to say George Lucas in the credits. Characters by.
Yeah.
That's about the only thing. Characters by Steven Spielberg and George Lucas. That's all you're gonna see in that.
Wouldn't it be great if this were a fantastic film?
Totally.
Breathe new life.
I mean, if the
franchise.
bookends are fucking amazing, then in a weird way, I feel like they could revisit the middle part and totally rewrite it. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean, it's like the thing like with Rocky 6. When you saw Rocky 6, you were like, fucking seriously? And then when you watch Rocky 6, you were like, well, fuck, dude, it brought the movie back to the elemental core of who the character is.
The Rocky Balboa film?
And and there's some, trust me, there's some fucking clown bullshit in it. Especially all the flashbacks when he's like sitting at the gravesite of his wife and shit. That's the only real clown part of the movie. But dude, when you break into the other shit, I mean, dude, like when he's training and all that bullshit, I mean, dude, you start looking at it from a boxing perspective, you're like, well, dude, fucking Foreman was in there fighting his ass off in his 50s.
Yep.
I mean, dude, there it is.
And I mean, Stallone is in ridiculous shape. Yeah. Even now he is.
I thought the premise of the movie was great. I thought it was cool. And I mean, is it an look, it's like, there's only one good Rocky movie, and that's the first one. And it's a lot like Indiana Jones. But at least Rocky 6 is...
I liked Rocky 3.
And
I'll admit
2. I mean, 2, he wins the belt.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Come on.
But I didn't beat him.
Rocky 2 is, for me, that's the only Rocky movie.
What? Really? Yeah. Wow, okay.
I like Rocky. Don't get me wrong. I like Rocky 1, but Rocky 2 is the best.
Moving on.
And Creed is good. Yeah. I think Creed
like
counts.
Creed. I thought Creed was well done because of...
What about Creed 2?
The guy who made... I didn't see Creed 2 yet.
It's good. I liked it.
Yeah.
Is it as good as the first one?
I think the first one's way better.
Yeah, well, because we know why the first one's better is because it's Ryan Coogler. I mean, dude made Black Panther, made that first one.
Yep.
And Ryan Coogler would sold me on that movie even more after I watched it. Ryan Coogler was like, this story was about me and my dad. I told a story about my dad. And when I saw that, I was like, well, this is fucking beautiful. You use something that you really loved as a filmmaker to elevate your story to make it personal. And that's fucking great. Yeah, I think that Stallone should have won the best supporter on that. They should have gave it to him. I mean, he's a cinema darling. Made a lot of fucking money for Hollywood. They should have gave it to him. So,
and he did a great job. I mean, there was some emotional.
And he did a great
heft
job.
in it.
It wasn't a shit show.
Jesus Christ, the directions we go based on that. We went from fucking Star Wars to Indiana Jones to fucking Logan and to Rocky. Fantastic.
I mean, I think anyone who just like tuned in and heard that, they'd be like, I see the connection.
Yeah, sure.
Film legacies about heroes aging.
Yeah, right. And cheap nostalgia to put it right back in the movie theater to fucking sell tickets.
And George Lucas ruining it.
That's it. So, What would a George Lucas Rocky movie be like?
What would a George Lucas Logan look like?
Oh, God, yeah. Well, it's more faster and more intense.
Faster, more intense. Let's kill that CGI guinea pig.
Terrible. Oh, yeah, those George Lucas videos. What are they called? Scott hates them. They're like deep fake, but it's like the George Lucas...
Deep fakes.
It's a George Lucas. It's a George Lucas, like him critiquing new shit that he has nothing to do with. You don't think that's funny?
That's a separate discussion for a second. Another
what?
time.
All right, next episode's deep fakes all the fucking way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're doing deep fakes. The next one for sure. So
buckle up, motherfuckers.
Tune into our next episode. Well, not only we will talk about deep fakes, but we will have Scott give us an in-depth explanation as to why he hates talking animal movies, but thinks that fucking David Lynch's fucking stupid bullshit is brilliant. So that's going to be our next episode. It's going to be a...
What did Jack know?
It's going to be a journey into the head of the ginger. So, buckle up.
Being Scott Freelo.
Buckle up, motherfuckers. And speaking of buckling up, hey, look, make sure to jump over to the PPV Guys group. You can buckle up over there by sending us a friend request. Send us an invite to join. We'll add you in, even if you're a fucking stupid Chinese robot that's trying to pass coronavirus through our fucking site. We'll even bring that on, too. Let you fucking breathe in this horse shit that we talk about on a every other week basis. So, you can also jump over to PPV Guys group. Check out our song parodies. I can't give it fucking enough kudos to you guys on our Instagram page. Check them out there. That's where it's getting a lot of love. But the new Billie Eilish John as Darth Vader song parody is fucking phenomenal. And also with Scott's Mandalorian, I'm happy to say, just like in my short musical career, even though I feel that I'm a pretty talented fellow, I was always surrounded by people that were better than me. And it's the same instance in here. I sing the weakest song parody out of the three.
But it did the second best.
Hey, look, there it is. But I don't know, dude. I think that the Mandalorian one and the Eilish ones are fucking tops. And we got other ones coming along the way, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all have some other ones y'all are working on, huh?
That is correct.
Cool. Well, check that out. Make sure you jump over to iTunes. Please subscribe. Please leave us a review. Click the 5 stars. We'd certainly appreciate that. Subscribe there. And if you're a YouTuber, check us out on YouTube at Popcorn, Piss, and Vinegar. Thanks for listening. End scene.